Most drivers think the expensive part of owning a car is when something breaks. But in reality, the biggest costs come from habits you repeat every single day. Not because you're careless, but because modern cars don't give you honest feedback anymore. In this video, I'm gonna break down 13 habits that are quietly draining your wallet, and number 1 is the reason all the others keep happening. Number 13, driving with windows down at highway speed. Let's start with one that sounds ridiculous until you see the numbers. You're driving on the highway, it's a nice day, so you roll down the windows instead of running the AC. Feels like you're saving fuel. You're not. Above about 40 to 45 miles per hour, open windows create aerodynamic drag that makes your engine work harder than your air conditioning compressor would. The Society of Automotive Engineers tested this years ago, and at highway speeds, running the AC was actually more fuel efficient than open windows on every vehicle they tested. Now, around town at 30 miles per hour, yeah, windows down wins. But on the freeway, you're burning an extra 5 to 8% in fuel. On a car that gets 25 miles per gallon, driving 15,000 miles a year, that's roughly $150 to $250 gone. Just because it felt like the cheaper option. Here's the rule. Under 45, windows down. Over 45, AC on. Your engine doesn't care what feels right. It cares about physics. And this isn't even the most common mistake people make with fuel economy. That's coming later. Number 12, checking tire pressure at the wrong time. Here's one where you're doing the right thing and still getting the wrong answer. Most people check their tire pressure after they've driven somewhere. You pull into a gas station, use the air pump, check the reading. But tires heat up when you drive. Even a 10-minute trip can raise your pressure reading by 3 to 5 psi. That means the number you're reading is inflated, literally. And you might actually let air out of a tire that was already correct. The only accurate reading is a cold reading. That means first thing in the morning before you've driven, the number on your door jamb, not the tire sidewall, that's the maximum, is calibrated for cold pressure. Running tires even 5 psi low increases rolling resistance and drops your fuel economy by about 2%. But worse, it causes uneven tread wear on the outer edges. A set of decent tires, Michelin Defenders, Continental True Contacts, run $600 to $800 installed. Replacing them 15,000 miles early because of bad wear patterns? That's real money you didn't need to spend. Check cold, check monthly, that's it. Number 11, using premium fuel just in case. This one drives me crazy because it's basically a tax on people who care about their car. If your owner's manual says 87 octane, regular, then putting in 91 or 93 does absolutely nothing for your engine. Nothing. Higher octane doesn't mean more power. It doesn't mean cleaner combustion. It means higher resistance to knock, which only matters in high compression engines that specifically require it. If you drive a Camry, a Silverado, a CR-V, an F-150, any engine with a compression ratio under about 11 to 1, premium fuel is a waste. The engine can't use the extra knock resistance. You're paying 50 to 70 cents more per gallon for a chemical property your engine doesn't need. At 15,000 miles a year, that's $300 to $500 annually, going straight into the gas station's pocket. Now, if your car says premium required, a BMW, many Audis, some turbocharged engines, that's different. Use what it requires, but premium recommended is dealer language for we'd like you to spend more. Check your manual. If it says 87, use 87. This doesn't mean you don't care about your engine. It means you understand what octane actually is. Number 10, carrying extra weight you forgot about. Open your trunk right now. Not right now, after the video, but I guarantee there's stuff in there you forgot about. Bags of salt from last winter, tools from a project 3 months ago, cases of water, sports equipment, boxes of junk you keep meaning to bring to Goodwill. Every 100 pounds of extra weight reduces your fuel economy by about 1 to 2%. That doesn't sound like much until you realize it's cumulative with everything else on this list. And on a small 4-cylinder car, the hit is closer to 2%. On a truck or SUV that's already getting 18 miles per gallon, it matters even more because you're starting from a worse baseline. Clean out the car. Keep a spare, a jack, and an emergency kit. Everything else is costing you gas money every single mile. Number 9, idling that feels harmless. Here's one that starts arguments, and I'm fine with that. If you're sitting in a drive-thru, warming up your car for 10 minutes in winter, or waiting in a parking lot with the engine running, you're burning fuel and getting exactly 0 miles per gallon in return. The old advice was, don't turn it off, restarting uses more gas than idling. That was true in 1985, when you had a carburetor. Modern fuel-injected engines use a tiny amount of fuel to restart. We're talking a few seconds worth. If you're going to be stopped for more than about 30 to 60 seconds, turning the engine off saves fuel, period. The Department of Energy estimates the average American wastes about $100 to $200 a year on unnecessary idling alone. And that's before you factor in the wear. Idling creates incomplete combustion, which dilutes your oil with unburned fuel and loads up your exhaust system with carbon. And the winter warm-up thing? Your engine warms up faster driving gently than sitting in your driveway. 30 seconds of idle time is all a modern engine needs before you start moving. Anything beyond that is just burning gas and wearing out your oil. I know some of you are gonna fight me on this one, and that's fine. Your engine doesn't care about the argument. It cares about the chemistry. Number 8, aggressive acceleration after stops. You hit a green light. You press the gas hard to get up to speed quickly. Feels like you're driving normally. You're not. Hard acceleration from a stop is one of the single biggest fuel economy killers in daily driving. The Department of Energy puts the penalty at 15 to 30% worse fuel economy during aggressive driving. And most of that cost is concentrated in the first few seconds after a stop. Your engine is working hardest when it's pulling a 3,500-pound vehicle from zero. Every extra pound of throttle pressure in those first 5 seconds is burning fuel at a massively disproportionate rate. The fix isn't driving like you're in a funeral procession. It's just easing into the throttle for the first 3 to 5 seconds after every stop. Smooth, progressive acceleration. You'll get to 40 miles per hour about 2 seconds slower, and you'll save hundreds of dollars a year. This one compounds with the next entry, so pay attention. If you want more no-hype car ownership advice like this, stuff that saves you actual money, hit subscribe. Most drivers don't hear any of this until it's already been expensive. Number 7, riding the brakes downhill. If you're driving down a long grade with your foot resting on the brake pedal, you're converting fuel energy into brake heat and throwing both away. This is basic physics. Your engine burned fuel to get you moving. Your brakes turn that motion into heat and friction, material dust. Every time you brake, you're erasing energy your engine paid for. On a long downhill, downshift instead. Let engine braking slow you down. Your fuel injectors actually shut off completely during deceleration in most modern cars. You're getting infinite miles per gallon while the engine slows you. But beyond fuel waste, riding the brakes causes brake fade. Your pads overheat, your rotors warp, and now you're looking at a brake job. A basic rotor and pad replacement on something like a RAV4 or an Accord runs $300 to $500 per axle at a shop. You just turned a free physics lesson into a repair bill. Downshift on hills, coast to stops when it's safe. Let the engine do the work. The brakes don't need to. Number 6, short trips that never let the engine warm up. This is one of the most damaging habits on the list, and most drivers have never thought about it. When you start a cold engine, the fuel mixture runs rich. That extra fuel doesn't fully burn. Some of it slips past the piston rings and dilutes your oil. On a long drive, the engine reaches full temperature and the fuel evaporates out. But on short trips, the engine never gets hot enough. The fuel stays in the oil, thinning it and reducing its ability to protect your engine. This is why mechanics say highway miles are easy miles. It's not speed, it's temperature. If you mostly do short trips, follow the severe duty oil change schedule, usually every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Number 5, hammering it right after a cold start. This connects directly to the last one, and it's where engine life is actually decided. When your engine is cold, the oil hasn't fully circulated yet. Metal clearances are tighter because everything hasn't expanded to operating temperature. The oil itself is thicker. Even a 0W20 synthetic is noticeably more viscous at 30 degrees than at 200 degrees. If you start the car and immediately get on the highway at full throttle, you're asking every bearing, piston ring, cam load, and valve train component to work under maximum load with minimum protection. The first 30 seconds to 2 minutes after a cold start is when the most wear happens inside your engine. Not at high mileage, not under towing. Cold starts with immediate hard driving, that's the killer. And the fix is simple. Start the car, give it 30 seconds, then drive gently for the first few minutes. You don't need to baby it for 15 minutes. Just don't go wide open throttle until the temperature gauge starts climbing off the bottom. Your engine will thank you at 200,000 miles. Number 4, ignoring small warning signs. A small squeak from the brakes, a slight vibration at highway speed, a check engine light that came on and then went away. Every one of these is your car telling you something, and most people ignore them because the car still drives fine. Modern cars are engineered to keep working even when things are starting to fail. That's a feature, until it becomes the reason a $200 fix turns into a $2,000 fix. A brake squeal is a wear indicator. It's a little metal tab designed to make noise before you hit metal on metal. Ignore it long enough and you're grinding rotors, which means new pads, new rotors, and possibly new calipers. A vibration at speed could be a $40 wheel balance or a $15 tire rotation. Let it go and it becomes cup tires, replacement cost. And that check engine light, even if it goes away, the code is stored. A $30 OBD2 scanner, a blue driver or a basic fixed unit, lets you read it yourself. 90% of the time it's something simple, but the 10% that it isn't, that 10% is where engines and catalytic converters die. Small signals, early action. That's how cars get to 250,000 miles. Number 3, skipping maintenance because it feels fine. This is the most expensive habit on this list, and it's the one people are most confident about. The car runs great. Why would I change the transmission fluid? Because transmission fluid breaks down. It loses its friction modifiers, it accumulates metal particles, and eventually it can't protect the clutch packs and valve body the way it's supposed to. A transmission fluid change is $150 to $250. A transmission rebuild is $3 to $5 grand. Same story with coolant, same with brake fluid, same with differential fluid if you've got one. These fluids have service intervals for a reason. Not because the dealer wants your money, but because the chemistry degrades on a predictable timeline. The car feels fine right up until it doesn't. And the gap between feels fine and catastrophic failure in a modern car is almost invisible. There's no gradual warning. It just works until it breaks. Follow the maintenance schedule, not the I'll get to it schedule, the one in the book. Number 2, unstable speed on the highway. This one ties everything together. If you're constantly speeding up and slowing down on the highway, even by 5 to 10 miles per hour, you're burning significantly more fuel than someone holding a steady speed. Every acceleration cycle costs fuel. Everyone. And most people don't even realize they're doing it. Cruise control exists for exactly this reason. On a flat highway, cruise control can improve your fuel economy by 7 to 14% compared to typical human speed variation. That's not a small number. On a car that costs $50 to fill up, that's $3 to $7 per tank. Over a year, we're talking $200 plus in savings just by pressing one button. And it's not just fuel. Speed cycling means more brake applications, more tire wear, and more stress on your drivetrain. It's the compounding effect of every other habit on this list, packed into one behavior. Set the cruise, hold the speed, let the car do what it's designed to do. Number 1, driving on autopilot. Here's the real reason all of this happens. It's not that you're a bad driver. It's that driving has become so routine that you stopped paying attention to how you're doing it. You don't notice the hard acceleration because you've done it 10,000 times. You don't feel the unnecessary braking because it's automatic. You don't think about idling because everyone does it. Every single habit on this list has the same root cause: doing what feels normal instead of what's actually efficient. And modern cars are so good at hiding the consequences that you never get feedback. The engine doesn't complain. The transmission doesn't slip. Until one day it does. The fuel gauge drops and you just fill it up again without wondering why it dropped faster this week. This is one habit that fixes all the others. Just pay attention. Not obsessively, not anxiously. Just notice. Notice the throttle. Notice the speed. Notice the maintenance schedule. That's it. 3 rules to take from this video. 1. Smooth inputs, save fuel, and save parts. 2. Fix small problems before they become big ones. And 3. Follow the maintenance book, not the feels fine schedule. Do those 3 things and you'll avoid thousands in costs that most drivers never even realize they're paying. Next time you get behind the wheel, you'll notice at least 3 of these, guaranteed.